how's it going everybody? This is Lewis from the Hangboard, and today I'm going to be talking about my first pair of aggressive climbing shoes, the Scarpa Instinct VS, and some reasons why I like them, what I didn't like about them, and why I didn't just buy a new pair when these blew out or started to go out. So yeah, let's get into it. If we get into some of the features I liked about the shoe, they're very good at edging. They are wider in the toe box, and they keep their shape very well over the lifetime of the shoe, as well as just being a durable shoe. Which leads the shoe to be really good at outdoor climbing, outdoor bouldering, and sport climbing. We can start off by getting some specifications out of the way. The Scarpa Instinct VS comes in at $180, uses Vibrams Excess Edge 2 rubber, is asymmetrical, which is this kind of shape right here where the shoe comes up and curves over, and then aggressive shoe. It's also split lasted, which allows for more flexibility for when you're doing really hard toe hooks and heel hooks. You can kind of keep more tension or pull harder with that. If I was going to give 3 pros of the shoe, I would say they're the best shoes I've ever had as far as edging is concerned. And not just edging, but precision. The toe is very precise, and Scarpa did a really good job with the midsole in it, the midsole support. So I think it goes all the way between like here and here, and it's just a plastic insert that goes underneath the rubber of the shoe, and it provides more rigidity for when doing edging. And when comparing them in hindsight to my Madrock drones, which are currently my most used climbing shoe, the Scarpa Instinct VS is a little bit more accurate. The toe box, the tip of the toe isn't as rounded. It's a little bit more pointed, which is better for little pockets and little tiny edges, which is where the shoe excels. Another big pro of this shoe is the fit of it. Well, at least the toe box. The toe box of the shoe is a little bit wider than most shoes, but I wouldn't call it a wide per se. I feel like it fits a lot of people's foot. They're also a slightly higher volume shoe, so the amount of space you'll get on the actual top of the shoe allows for I'm gonna say meteor foot / higher instep. A lot of people have higher insteps, which is just like the top part of your foot, that top bump right above like your big toe and stuff. And I feel like these felt really good over there. They also have this liner on the inside of the tongue. If we can see it, let's see. Yeah, right here, you can kind of see it. That piece right here, it is completely synthetic, and what it helps with is when you're through the lifetime of your shoe, you know, they have a sweet spot. When you first get them, they're usually too tight, and towards the end, the toe's blown out, as well as being sometimes they soften up a lot, or they just don't hold their shape really well, which is referred to as bagging out. These shoes have held their shape very well. I am very surprised. They stretched about, I would say, a half size. So if I were to buy these again, I would buy them a half a size down than what I bought these guys in. I sized mine true to size. So I wear a street shoe size of a 14. These guys are a men's 14 / EU 48. Getting a little bit deeper, we can talk about the actual toe box of the shoe. That being from the base of your toe knuckles all the way up to where your big toe ends. That's what is referred to as the toe box of a shoe. This is probably one of the most important things when fitting your climbing shoes, is making sure that you have just the right amount of room, not too much, not too little. It really allows for you to maximize your edging capabilities as well as the comfort of the shoe, so you don't have to necessarily take it off every attempt of a boulder. You can wear them for at least 10 minutes and be comfortable. Another fit thing is the fact that for me, having a flatter foot profile, I noticed in some aggressive climbing shoes, when I first started climbing, for some reason my foot would cramp up when putting them on. For example, the Vutora Acro, which is another very popular indoor and outdoor shoe. I don't know why, but the second I pulled into it, the arch sucked up really well, which is great if you have a higher arch in your foot. But for me, it just made my foot hurt. Do not know why, but the Instincts, that did not happen in my Haywires, my Drones, and my Sharks, which are all other aggressive shoes that I currently use. For me, the XS Edge 2 rubber is a blessing and a curse. The curse part of it being the fact that it is stiffer means it isn't as sticky. The stiffer rubber compounds don't do so hot on volumes or glassy footholds. So I notice when climbing more, this is more of a gym thing. I notice when climbing in the gym and everything, when using a lot of volumes, I felt my feet to be a little less secure than I did with other shoes that I now use, like my Haywires, my Drones, and my Sharks, which all feel a lot better on volume. So the Scarpa Instinct VS uses the XS Edge, and then the Scarpa Instinct VSR uses the XS Grip 2, which may be better if you climb majority indoors. You'll lose a little bit of the edging power because the XS Edge rubber is stiffer, but in turn you're gaining a lot of performance on, like, let's say volumes. And my shins are kind of the evidence I have for these shoes not doing too well on volumes when compared to other shoes. These shoes have a tendency to slip on glassy footholds as well. The other really big thing about this shoe that kind of bothered me was the heel. The heel's not necessarily bad in any way. It's actually quite good for people who like nice sensitive heels. The problem just came with the overall shape of it. If you look at the heel on the back, you'll notice it's quite bulbous. Let me see. I don't know if you can kind of see, but the heel on the Instinct is quite a bit more bulbous on the sides, and it's also a lot deeper. Back, the heel's a little bit more bulbous. Flip it over. There you go. You can kind of see it right there, the difference in the heels. That honestly was my biggest complaint, which sent me on my search to find a shoe that fit my heel. Also, I wanted to try softer shoes because I heard softer shoes were a little bit better in volumes. Me being a gym climber, that was my biggest problem indoors. That was a quick little review. of the Scarpa Instinct VS's. They were my first pair of aggressive shoes, and I really enjoyed them. There were only a few things I didn't like about them. After these shoes, I went with the Madrox Haywires, which is completely different from the shoe as far as function. The Madrox Haywire specializes in being a very soft rubber-like shoe, which I thought I wanted because of this shoe, because I thought that these were just too stiff. In hindsight, I could have probably used a shoe like the Scarpa Drago or the Scarpa VSRs, which I really wanted to try. The only downside for me is they don't have them in my size. The Instinct VS goes all the way up to a 49 EU, and the Scarpa Drago stops at like a 43, and then the VSR also stops around like 42, 43-ish, which means I was never able to get those versions of the shoe. Is what it is. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the review of the Scarpa Instinct VS's. If you want any more information about the shoe, just go into the description. There should be a link to the Hangboard blog where we should have an in-depth review of these shoes. Also, if you have any other questions that aren't found, that you couldn't have answered in that, I can also just answer questions in the comments. This is the first day of the new year. Everybody have a very, very, very successful 2020. See ya.